hate to break the fishing news up here, Chuck, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep.
All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome into a Monday edition of the Real Life Podcast. What an episode it's going to be. I'm predicting.
Why you sound so low energy?
No, I'm not low energy at all. I'm just very excited for this episode. There's a lot to talk about.
All right.
What a weekend in sports. The Oilers game came with a lot of headlines. You had the fight, a good NFL weekend. First, though, the pod is brought to you by Nation Beer. Excited to be teaming up with our new friends at Odd Company to bring you the latest iteration of Nation Beer. And dare I say, it's the most delicious. A crisp, clean lager crafted for game day and every day. No bad time to sit down and crack open a delicious Nation Beer from our friends at Odd Company. Pick one up at one of their 2 locations in Edmonton or go on Liquor Connect and find a liquor store near you. The podcast is also brought to you by the Nation Survey BM.
Yeah, just go on over to the websites. You'll have the pop-up. You get a chance to win a $250 Fanatics gift card. Just help us out. We need a little information.
There's some people love doing it. Surveys.
I'll be honest with you, Chalmers.
Yeah.
On YouTube, I always do the surveys. Always.
Really?
Like, did you see this ad?
Yeah. And people are like, why are you doing that? I'm like, quiet. Google and I are working on something together. And then I fill out the survey and I always give my real response. Somebody has to work with Google.
Fair. But
What's interesting about the survey is actually we're getting some legitimate data for sure, like better understanding of the audience, better understanding of how they're consuming the websites. So it's been neat to
It's
look
helpful.
at the data. For sure. For sure.
I can't think of a more thrilling sponsor on this show.
It reminds me of when we did the survey, just asking who you like and who you don't like on the website. Those were always fun.
Well, that is just a bad idea.
Oh, we did that for years, Charles, just to entertain ourselves.
They were always fun.
Yeah.
I love bag milk. The very next pie is like, fucking no more bag milk.
Yeah.
Away she goes.
The duality of man.
Yeah, away she goes.
Love a good survey.
yeah, and you can win $250, Charles. So you have your say on what we do here at the Nation and $250. It's a banging deal.
I got a Bronny James jersey.
Ask me a couple questions from it.
I get 2 of those.
I actually don't even know what any of the questions are.
Well, come on.
Despite my urges to make 8 burners and say Tyler's the best, I haven't clicked on the survey.
No, we didn't put that one in there.
Ah.
We didn't put that one in there this time.
No, Tyler's the best question. Okay.
No,
Well,
it's just like, how do you
Save him.
consume the content? Like, is it mostly on socials? Do you read the website? Are you on YouTube? Are you watching Tyler on YouTube? Do you see him on the shows? It's just that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is Baby Gronk the Riz God?
You
I
might be.
hate Baby Gronk, man.
Why?
who's worse, the Rizzler or Baby Gronk?
Rizzler
Oh
on
my-
Cameo, $150. He'll say whatever you want.
That's not even a question, Chalmers.
I know.
The Rizzler's pure. Even like the Costco guys, I think are a little
One trick
weird.
pony,
Baby Gronk?
one trick pony, the Rizzler.
Baby Gronk's not pure. He looks dead in the eyes. That's for sure.
His dad like hires women to stand next to him while he's like, Rizzler, I want to challenge you to a boxing match. Whose dad is letting their kid be like
A good one.
Was that one of the ring girls from the Tyson?
maybe?
I saw that one.
When your M-Check dresses like this, he looks like a U.S. senator.
Well, so I was leaving the house today and Amber was like, you look nice. And I looked in the mirror and I said, no, because I had my backpack on. I was like, I look like I'm about to go to my accounting job.
You look like you're my dad on a Saturday.
The junior representative from Texas.
He might go to Eddie Bauer, maybe see if he has time.
So I'm
He's got a
wearing
nice day at Home Depot.
I'm wearing like one of those kind of fuzzy sweaters that are in right now.
But it's like the one where it's one color at the top and another color at the bottom.
Yeah, it's Adidas though. So it's
You look up market.
yeah, I'm
You sure
probably
it's not Beaver
overdressed
Canoe?
for a sports
No,
podcast.
you're not.
You remember Beaver Canoe?
Yeah.
I do not.
Still around.
Is that too? Oh my
It's
God.
still around.
Yeah, it might be. I
It
know.
is.
Well,
It's not out of.
it's not, but clearly it
Oh,
hasn't
it's
been
a sweatshirt.
popular since.
It's a clothing line.
This looks like a Beaver Canoe sweatshirt.
Yes,
Sure.
it does.
Yeah.
Eddie Bauer, Beaver Canoe. Yeah,
Mhm.
one of those.
So the thing is, sometimes for DFO Live, I like to dress like a little bit more professional and wear like a golf top or something like that. And then usually I'll change and drive into work and do Nation. I really do a full DFO your truck to Oilers Nation your truck. And today I just didn't feel like dirtying another sweater.
I love that at the Nation, this is considered professional.
Yeah, he's dressed up right now.
A quarter zip, a fuzzy fleece quarter zip.
He's
Find his
no
hairdo.
hat.
No
No
hat
hat.
though.
And his
Oh yeah,
hairdo.
okay, the no hat. You know what? Didn't dawn on me that you weren't wearing a hat today. This is a hat heavy podcast though, all the time.
Always.
Always.
Yeah, I'm 90% of the time I'm wearing one, but
If as long as I'm wearing Nation gear, I've worked that day.
It is true.
That's the way I look
Walking
at
billboard.
it. Yeah.
Before we keep cruising along, let's not avoid past mistakes. Are the audio lines moving, Bag Milk?
We're good. Yeah, we are good.
Let's
I'm
go.
watching.
We're cooking. No restart today. So let's go through what was a really fun weekend in sports by going back to the first event that happened since our last episode. Connor McDavid 1,000 points.
Yes.
We did that. We did the last episode Thursday. McDavid hit it on Thursday night.
I was pretty close with my guess on how it would work. I did not get it right that he was going to score the first goal of the game. He did score. The plays did go bananas.
It was awesome. I was so glad that they all came out, but he was happy. Everybody comes out, but then they go back to the bench. It's not like a huge ordeal. Didn't stop the game.
Well, they did stop the game. Everyone came out off the bench.
I mean, but it wasn't. It wasn't really any longer than like a normal stoppage. It wasn't anything where I was like,
it was your average video review.
Kind of. Yeah. But and it's funny, that game was, so he gets the point and we're playing well. It's a fun game, but at 2-1 with like 5 minutes left, I look at my wife and I'm like, she's clearly got to get out of there. She's got to get to bed. And I'm like, everybody's in a good mood right in here right now. And this is exactly the type of game. And everybody was sitting back happy. Something in me was just like, they're one goal. Like it was one of those ones where you felt way too good for it to be just 2-1.
Yep.
And they tied up with 2 minutes left. That sucked.
Oilers have coughed up their lead in the third period for the last 5 games.
Yeah.
Is that good?
It's not ideal. They've also given up the most goals in the NHL in the final 10 minutes of the game.
Is that good?
Not ideal.
But being number one's good.
Always is.
No, I think you'd say they're 32.
Would you? No, number one at doing something's number one.
Either you strive to be the best or you don't do it, Tyler.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at how biblically terrible the Sharks are. Oh my God.
My favorite stat from the 1,000th point was who from his draft year was in second, with Mitch Marner at like 660.
Yeah, like so far behind.
That's incredible pace.
I mean, the fact he did it 4th fastest in NHL history is insane. Also, we talked about this on Oilers Nation Radio, but he's going to end, Bag Milk, you kind of said it was like your favorite Gretzky trivia, right? It's the one where you could take away all his goals and he's still the all-time leader in points.
Yep.
McDavid's going to end that. Like if he's at 1,000 now, he's going to hit 2,000 in his career, health permitting. That's the only thing that can really derail him at this point. And once he gets past 1963, that trivia nugget of Wayne's is now done. So I find that interesting.
Can you believe that on his pace, they say that he will probably pass that milestone by like the year 2030?
Yeah.
What a weird thing to think about.
It's crazy.
Connor McDavid setting records in 2030.
Well, and then
think about where you'll be.
The other one
Right
that stuck
here,
out to
probably?
me. Yeah, probably.
But
this chair.
age-wise.
Right here, probably.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Mentally the same.
You wonder where we'll be age-wise? Just add 6 years.
No, I get it.
Oh.
But the other one that I loved.
I'm 50.
Bag Milk will look the same.
I'm literally
Probably.
50 years old.
Yeah. Hail Satan. It took him 57 games to go from 900 points to 1,000 points.
That's wild.
Bananas. And people are like, oh, he's having a slow start to the season. That's even with a slow, quote unquote.
Set a
start to the season.
timer.
Go ahead.
We'll see what happens first. My birthday is February 9th.
Okay.
Do I turn 50 before Connor McDavid breaks Wayne Gretzky's assist?
You want to start a timer for that?
Assist record?
Or no, points record. Sorry. Did he kill him? No. What record are we talking about here?
His assists as points.
Are you talking about?
As assists as points. Sorry. Yes, that's the one I'm talking
That's
about.
1,000 points away. Are you thinking about Ovechkin now?
No.
Have you just molded them together?
No, that dude's like getting,
what record are you?
that dude's getting close.
Yeah, he's 29 away, by the way. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe it's assists as points. Assist to Gretzky's points.
No, but he's still 900
No,
away.
Sorry.
He needs
Yeah.
like seasons to do it.
Yeah. That's what I know.
But your birthday is when? In February?
No, when I turn 50.
Oh.
What comes first? I turn 50.
I'm not going to lie. I
You
thought
want
you
to
were
start a
turning,
timer for 8 years
I thought you were
away.
turning 50 in a few months.
No, I confused myself too. I turned 50 in 2030.
Okay. I see what you mean now.
Okay.
Yes.
Health permitting, I'd say he does it.
I hope so.
150-ish points for
What do you
the
got
6
planned for
years.
that birthday, Charles?
Yeah.
At the game where McDavid breaks that record.
No red beesies.
Nope.
No,
Mm-mm.
might not make it to 50.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Stay off the red beesies. You'll be
2,000 point darts don't count, though. I tell you that much.
fine. Dick
Nope.
Cheney's still alive. You'll be fine.
Also, Connor McDavid only 3 points away from being in the top 10 in league scoring. So he's almost back there. He's closing that gap really quick.
We were playing a game on Oilers Nation Radio where we're guessing how long it would take Connor to get back in the top 10. And I said New Year's Day. I'm looking real bad.
I mean, we all
Non-believer.
are. I said December 10th or something. Like I'm way off.
Non-believer.
Not great.
When's American Thanksgiving?
This week? This weekend?
What are you going to
That's
do?
what football
This
week
weekend?
is.
No, it's next weekend.
I don't know anything.
It's next weekend.
I am.
So I always get
I'm
confused
living in
by
the
this.
haze right now.
The next weekend is considered to be this weekend. And the next weekend is next week's weekend?
Yeah. This weekend is this coming weekend. Next weekend is
Thursday, November 28th.
Because I would say
Yeah.
that the weekend at the end of this week is next weekend.
Thursday, November 28th is the day they play 3 football games in a row,
Yeah.
which is considered
That's American Thanksgiving.
American Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah.
Are you going to declare the McDavid era over for the 3rd consecutive year?
I feel like I'm living in a different timeline because now I feel like I'm the only one who's calm about things right now.
You
Everyone's
became a
like,
senator and you got that hairdo.
yeah, everyone's like, trade Evan Bouchard. And it's like, what? Did you
No.
not watch the playoffs last year? Everyone's like, Stuart, the Oilers will never win until they figure out this goaltending thing. It's like, they literally went to game 7 of the cup final last year. Like, if people just erased someone today in the YouTube
It's very
chat,
much what have you done for me lately?
yeah, someone in the YouTube chat today and I called them an idiot, and then they got mad at me and said, like, I'm a bum and my co-host is the only diplomatic one on the show.
You're a
Liam.
bum.
And they used the word
You're a
diplomatic.
goof.
And the guy came on and was like, Stuart Skinner can't handle pressure. He'll never win in big games. And I was like, he only lost 1 elimination game last year.
Yeah, true.
He went to LA in round 1 when they had the 2 road games. He gave up 1 goal in 2 games against Vancouver after he got benched, granted, but came in games 6 and 7, lights out. Dallas, games 5 and 6, lights out. Stanley Cup final, games 4, 5, 6, and 7, lights out.
Okay. So let's curb that conversation for 1 second.
Yeah. I'm done.
And talk about when is he just going to make a save that the team needs right now, though? Because Nashville ties the game up with 2 minutes left. Not a great goal.
Yeah, that was bad. And Skinner should have had that.
Sorry, that was Pickard. Toronto, when straight up in overtime, when you see the replay and it gets like paused, where he is literally not even in the center of he's not even in the net.
Okay, but when I watched that, Evan Bouchard, to his credit, did a great job taking away the pass and the low angle. And I think Stuart Skinner read that as the pass is gone. I'm going to take away as much of this side of the net as I can because Marner has nowhere to go. And I just think Mitch Marner made a great play to seam it off the bottom of the post and in.
I just think the bigger thing with Stu right now is he's got 12 appearances this year, 7 of them below 900.
Yep. He needs to be more consistent.
He needs to be better.
He's had some good games this year. Pittsburgh, Calgary. He's been solid for a few, but he's had way too many bad games.
The highs are high and the lows are very low. They need to narrow that gap.
Although better save percentage than he did at this point last year.
Oh, God.
Let me ask you this, Bag.
Go ahead.
I'm just so sick of the same shit every year.
Evan Bouchard's controller unplugging, 8 or 9 times so far this season. Here's a survey for you. How much money off his AAV is he taking off with this horse shit?
So I made a joke about that the other day where I was just like, if the coaching staff or somebody in the room isn't going to yell at him, it's got to be the agent because it's also costing him money now.
That last goal, man,
It
I
was
think
so
it was against
bad.
Toronto where he just stopped skating and just watched the guy skate past him. You can't consider yourself an elite defender in this league and make these plays.
Or when he just fired it off McDavid's ass with
Giveaway.
ample other ways to
So
get that
bad.
puck out of the zone.
If he just played a simple Steve Stais breakout off the glass, that goal does not happen.
What does Paul Coffey do in the room when he pulls his shit?
He says, look at me. Look, God damn it, Boosh, look at me. When I'm talking to you, look at me.
It's quit laughing.
Why? It's funny.
It is funny.
What else can you say?
I don't know, man. You'd think he'd get mad. This is ridiculous.
But like, do you think Paul Coffey has it in him with everything he's accomplished in his life, with the fact he needed to be like more or less convinced to come be a coach again this year? You think Paul Coffey has it in him to be like, I'm going to go yell at him in the film room? I think Paul Coffey's just like, do better. And Bush is like, yeah, you're right.
That's the kind of leadership we have.
I think.
That's a problem.
That's how Paul Coffey fixed the D for 4 weeks last year.
But even last year, like, I don't even know if the defense got better. The goalies just started making saves, which is, I feel like, is right where we're at right now. Like, are we talking about Bouchard today if Skinner makes a couple of big saves? And I'm a Skinner defender, but like on that goal where Bouchard, like you said, controller unplugged, stopped skating. Skinner like was halfway to the face-off dot and then was like, shit, I don't know what I'm
What
doing.
are the video days like the next day? They're like, hey, we'd like to show you something, Evan.
Yeah.
Evan. They assume they call him Evan.
It was just wild because it was back-to-back shifts.
Well,
2 goals, bang, bang,
the
on
fuck,
mistakes
man?
that were just 10 bell mistakes.
I understand why people get so pissed off at this nonsense, man.
Well, it's 100%. And
Because like, I also think like, just sorry to cut you off, but like if that second goal still happens, but Bouchard is hauling ass back and still scores, people are not going to be as mad.
Oh, man.
He didn't take a stride he was about 1.5 feet outside his own blue line. Didn't take a stride until the puck went in and he skated very fast back to the bench, which I also thought was funny.
It's just when you're flooded with stuff like videos on X about caption, there is no NHL goaltender that moves this poorly. And it's kind of like it's not slow-mo, but it's definitely not normal speed video of Stuart Skinner sliding from side to side on a 2-on-1. And he's not even fucking close. Like not even close. And yeah, in that, it's not totally slow-mo because I know everything is amplified in slow-mo, but this wasn't. And I was like, yeah, that's it's not even really good. Didn't even look normal.
Nope.
And it's just like, then you see that wide open far side. Yeah, sure, he puts out the post. I mean, these are NHL shooters. Like they could do this. Lock the net. Like stand where you're supposed to stand. I don't know. Just getting frustrated by it. I'm getting frustrated by the fact that it seems like we are. It's like a minor hockey league team. You all play these games and then you still lose them. Right?
Yeah,
You know what made me feel? That OT goal? I was too mean to Mike Smith.
Yeah. He'd have made that save.
Also, did you hear Mike Smith at Hall of Fame weekend? He was there because he's boys with, I think him and Weber maybe played together. Or no, why would he have been there? He was at Hall of Fame weekend. I don't know why. And they asked him, what was the most memorable moment of your entire career? And Mike Smith said the fight against Cam Talbot. And it was like the best and great. But then there was part of that was like, really, your whole career? Oh,
that was
But like, do you remember that game though?
That was amazing.
crazy.
It was like, when you think of the Battle of Alberta, that game was everything everyone wanted.
Yeah.
Scraps everywhere, back and forth. It was awesome.
my kids were watching that fight with his kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his kids were on my kids' hockey team.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
They're like, Daddy, no.
We were at a tournament and we were all in the casino, his wife included, and the kids were all in a room playing like mini sticks and we're watching the game. And yeah, so the fight happened. We were all just like, it was electric in there for us. I can just imagine. Of course, that'd be a highlight for him.
Yeah,
Still a highlight for me.
Yeah.
That game, that whole
The call,
game.
Jack's call on it
The
too.
whole
Come
thing.
on.
Jack's call was great. So anyways, back to the Oilers. We were talking about how like you watch the game, you're like, oh, they deserve to win, right? And then they don't.
Yeah.
It's been 15 straight games since they've been outshot at 5-on-5. There's been a couple ties in there, but they have not been outshot at 5v5 in 15 games.
That's
That is
like, again, that
unacceptable.
drives me nuts that they're losing these games.
That is unacceptable.
Because it could be ultimately the difference between home ice and not having home ice in the playoffs.
Yeah, I get it. There's also just that part of me, and I know they're in all likelihood not winning 16 in a row again, but I'm like, they're already in such a better spot, and we know this team peaks in March and February, and they go nuts for.
I don't think anybody's
6 weeks.
given up on them, but like
Yeah.
the mistakes that are causing losses are so annoying because they're so avoidable.
Yeah, and that's fair.
But you see other teams being dominant. Like, why can't we just be dominant? Why can't we just
See, but we are
be
I
the
just
dominant
think
team that we are? You know?
we are, and it's partially bad luck on the shooting side, and then also just like bonehead mistakes on the other end that are
It's the mistakes that bother me.
yeah.
Okay.
Because you don't know
Totally
luck will
they do.
turn.
What?
You go, it's the mistakes that bother me.
Well, let's
Yeah,
start.
They're fucking
Let's
mistakes.
just start.
But like everybody makes mistakes, but then like Anthony Stolars was covering up Leafs mistakes that we didn't get the same save. And it's driving me
Great
nuts.
point.
We find ourselves
Great point.
yearning for the cool goaltending of Anthony Stolars.
He was once an Oiler.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
And then they had to play him.
They had to play him like 5 games or something, wasn't it?
They had to play, I think it was like 7 games to keep his rights, and he played 6. And I remember it was the last game of the year, and it was him and like whoever, it might have been Koskinen, who was already already under contract. Game 82, if you play Stolars, you keep his RFA rights in. Those like, no. Costco gets it.
The
Okay.
best.
Also,
Koskinen
Again-
gets shelled 7-2.
revisionist history, but like, goddamn, Mikko Koskinen had some great numbers as an Oiler. Like, why?
Stop it.
Why did we hate him so much?
Because he always let in all those goals.
he had a
He
year
did
where
let a lot of first shot goals in.
You ever hit a 917?
Man, what I wouldn't give for a 9.
Remember when he took that photo when he left for Switzerland? He was like 9 feet tall, wearing all black. That was the best part of his career. Was
With
that
his
photo.
with his dog.
Yep.
So
Gordita
Thursday night
Crunch.
game. Thursday night game ends. We're all happy.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the weekend. What's the next event on Friday, Tyler?
Paul versus Tyson.
What I like to call ring girl boob show.
Ring girl boob show.
Every single chance they could get, they had a ring girl in the background
Chalmers,
with their
don't complain
boobs.
about this.
I'm not complaining.
Oh, good.
Never said I was complaining.
Okay, now.
I'm just saying you couldn't have been more overt in having people, the chicks with their boobs hanging out.
Yeah, boobs are back though in 2024.
Brought to you by the U.S. Army.
So I made it to the place I was going to watch it a little late. I got there just in time for the Amanda Serrano and Katie.
Which I didn't watch, but I heard was great.
It was
man, that was a
awesome
tilt.
So were the streaming problems happening before the women's fights?
No, they were not.
They were not.
I turned on the so I'm stupid. The broadcast started at 6. I didn't know that they had 3 fights to start. I knew there was one. I knew the Serrano. I knew that. So I thought I was just turning it on for that one. The first fight of the night, awful. I don't think anybody watched it. The one right after that was like a welterweight.
Yeah,
belt
150 pounders.
Those guys were chucking them. And I was like, man, this is a scrap. Stream was fine. Then the ladies went up. They were really chucking them.
Yeah.
Stream was fine. And then as that fight started to get to the latter rounds of it, that's when the streaming issue started happening.
Do you know why?
Because like 60 million people tuned in.
Because everybody was logging in. They crashed Netflix.
Which is funny because Netflix did an interview with TMZ 4 or 5 days before the fight. They go, we've got no concerns. We've boasted the servers. We're ready.
It's crazy they did that.
Mm-hmm.
They were not ready.
They were not ready.
It
was, I walked into the party and the host was like, you could tell visibly frustrated.
Yeah.
Because even though it's not his fault, he's hosting the party. So of course everybody's looking at him being like, why isn't this working? What's
you work
wrong
for
with
Netflix?
your TV? Why didn't you pay for your Netflix? And quickly going to Instagram and Twitter, you realize that everybody was having this exact same problem.
Yeah.
We, however, we were watching it on the Shaw feed, right? And TELUS, and then people I was talking to were watching it on TELUS.
Yeah, like through the Netflix app and your cable box.
Through the Netflix app on your cable box. And it was brutal, like buffering, not even playing.
Mm-hmm.
So then we went to the Apple TV where we played the Netflix through the Apple TV and it was perfect.
I watched it at a bowling alley and there was like some 20-year-old kids on the lane next to me and they just had it on their phone and it was perfect.
Yeah. Well, phones. So that's the thing is we started streaming it on our phones while we were waiting for it to buffer. And we realized it's streaming on our phones perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's not, it has to be something with the TV setup we're using. So we tried to screen mirror. Didn't work. There was some right to it. Or you couldn't screen mirror it. So we thought, get off the cable box. And yeah, it worked until the 4th round of the Tyson fight. And then it started buffering again. And we were 8 to 10 minutes behind because of all the buffering that we had to basically just put our phones down so we didn't get anything ruined for us.
Yep.
The women fighting, that was the second fight. The first one was, by all accounts, one of the best female fights ever. And so this is the rematch. And it was so good in the amount of punches and punches landed. But what I really, really liked about it was that normal boxing promotions don't have the trainer on swearing his head off and interview this halfway through the fight. And, even just seeing Tyson's ass, they're more buttoned up. I kind of like the fact that
or unbuttoned.
Netflix was
You like
kind
that
of
ass,
so
Chalmers?
minor league that they weren't prepared to
I
not have.
I don't think they cared.
So that's what I didn't know, but it did feel like minor leagues because I love Rosie Perez ever since the day she was on White Men Can't Jump. Cedric and the Entertainer, I don't know. Then the other guy, don't even know who he was, but he wore me out within 10 minutes. I couldn't listen to them. They were driving me nuts.
Well, the main announcer guy, he was a WWE guy.
Oh man, I don't know where he was from, but he was just so annoying.
But it's also funny to be it was kind of because I agreed it was a little bit amateurish, but then they're doing it at Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah.
It's just bananas. Also, I thought it was hilarious. Did you see how many people were watching Antonio Brown's
Feed of the
feed
Jumbotron?
of the screen?
What was happening?
He was just filming the screen on his phone and broadcasting it on Instagram Live to 6.8 million people.
Who didn't have to pay then? Well,
Also, people kept being like, at the end of the fight when it was obviously a dud, people were like, "Oh, we got scammed." I was like, "What? You already have Netflix. You didn't pay anything for it. You can get scammed."
did
It
you
was
see
just
the
a
one
dud.
bit of the fight where Paul goes to hit Tyson? He kind of like slips, and Tyson, rather than just ringing his bell, just kind of like pushed him back a little bit.
I don't know if I think if anyone was taking it easy on anyone, it was Jake Paul taking it easy.
So like,
Early in the fight, early
in the fight. I
Early
did
in
see
the
that.
fight.
I saw the clip of like he could have knocked him out here.
Yeah.
I saw the training video juxtaposed with him moving. I mean, Roy Jones Jr. in the second round was like, I don't like Tyson's legs here.
no, he's not moving well.
He's not moving. Like boxers got to be a little spry on their legs. I don't even think he was lifting his back foot up. I think he was dragging it.
Yeah. So like my opinion on what was going to happen in the fight drastically changed during Tyson's walkout.
Yeah.
Why?
When
What
he-
happened?
When he was just walking out really stiff and he looked like a 58-year-old man. I'm like, uh-oh.
And like the biting the glove thing
That was
reminded me
him
of like
trying not to
nervous.
kill Jake Paul.
No, I think it was nervous.
No.
I think it was nervousness. To be honest with you, so Tyler, you called the fight. We all said Tyson. We all thought it would be like, quick knockout. We were thinking with our hearts here, but honestly, what happened is exactly what you thought, which
He's
was
58.
He's 58 years old. If he doesn't knock him out in the first 2 rounds, he's going to lose all of his stamina, even with 2-minute rounds. And Jake Paul's, to his credit, because nobody wanted to see Mike Tyson embarrassed.
Yeah.
Also, I think Jake Paul is a smart enough businessman to know that the only way he loses in a win is to embarrass Mike Tyson, is
Or
to
like
knock
hurt
him out,
him.
or like hurt him.
He
To
even
have
said
a
it in his
58-year-old
post-fight
man. Yeah.
presser.
So he says it in his post. But
What'd
when
he
you're
say?
watching the fight, you can see he's just like, he didn't throw
So
as many punches as he usually would.
to paraphrase, they asked,
Holding
did
him
you
up.
start to, lay off Tyson as the fight went on? He goes, yeah, I wasn't about to hurt somebody who didn't deserve to be hurt.
Yeah.
Something like that.
For a fight that's included free with Netflix, I want someone to get hurt.
I mean, you see the stats on this thing. Like Mike Tyson threw 97 punches.
Is that
and landed
high, low?
18. That is low.
That was like a third
For
of
a
what Jake Paul
10-round
did.
fight, even at
You know what?
2-minute rounds.
I'm starting to think it's bad. We have elderly people fighting YouTubers.
You think? There's people I listened to this morning that were like, this thing should have never been sanctioned.
The sanctity of boxing. Give me a break.
I'm just happy they had the undercard they did because those two, like as a non-boxing fan, those two fights were a lot of fun. And then the main event was just such a waste.
There's boxing promoters, though, like in a sport that's in decline in North America, that look at that and they're just like, well, what the fuck? Like, how are they capable of filling Dallas Stadium and crashing Netflix, yet Americans don't like boxing?
It's a sport needs stars, right?
Yeah.
Like think of like for me,
There's
I'm
no great American boxer.
no, and I'm such a casual fighting fan, like even UFC. The only way you can really get me to turn on a UFC fight is if it's Connor McGregor or someone of that status where it's like, oh man, I want to see if this is going to crash and burn or be like legendary.
Yeah.
And that was really the only reason to turn on Paul Tyson was like, okay, this is either going to produce the most viral moment of all viral moments, or it's going to be a plane crash and it's going to suck.
Is Jake Paul going to fight Conor Coco McGregor?
But like, that's like,
Apparently McGregor still has, Liam was explaining, he has 2 more fights with UFC that they like don't have public, but it's like
But he
A
just
thing?
can't fight because he's too on the cocoa beans.
Who is?
but he can't go fight anywhere else because he's under
Conor
contract. with
McGregor, they
UFC.
can release him.
But they won't because they want the money from him eventually fighting again one day.
But he has to like have fake injuries and shit because he can't go to fight.
I just like, then the other angle was like, I think it was Gregor tweeted it or something like that where,
Conor McGregor?
where it's just like with Jake Paul, like if you want to really be taken seriously outside of like the promotion, which he is a master at, fight somebody who's actually a boxer.
Well, so rumors is that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, who is at the downside of his career, but still a young, really good boxer. Like
Because the only fight he's lost was against a boxer,
Tommy Fury,
Yeah,
right?
Tommy Fury.
I will say though, like if the next move for him is fighting like a Canelo Alvarez, who all I know him as is again like a boxer, like I'm not a fan, I'll watch that though. If Netflix runs it back again and is like Paul Alvarez this time next year, I'm still tuning into that because now the intrigue is okay. Is he actually a good boxer? Which, I mean, we maybe know the answer to, but after Tyson, it's like, no, I'd watch again.
Well, 40 million for Paul and 20 million for Tyson, and it crashed Netflix. There'll be more fights.
For sure, there will.
Netflix has NFL games this year.
Well, that was the other thing I was just thinking about as I was getting the spinning buffering thing over and over again was the NFL is not going to fuck around with that. They're going to dial in. And are 60 million people going to tune in? Probably not. But still, the NFL is not going to allow that kind of product.
Yeah, no, they
So they got to dial it in.
Yeah.
Apparently, Canelo Alvarez was asked if he would be interested in a bout with Jake Paul, and his quote was "not at all." To which Jake Paul responded with, "Canelo Alvarez needs me, so I am not even going to try and call him out." He stated in his post-fight interview, he wants a payday, so he knows where the money man is at. But Alvarez has a net worth of $275 million from his boxing career. It's how much does he really need it?
Yeah, you're right.
You know who should fight, Bad Mail?
Go ahead.
Mr. Beast versus Zuck.
I'm in.
Ratings?
What did Mr. Beast just do that was crazy?
Well, they're always investigating him. I don't know if anything is coming of it.
I'm more interested in Zuck releasing a tune with T-Pain.
Wow, this is it, right?
I'm more interested in Jake Paul versus Evander Kane.
Man, that Instagram post that Waz made ripped.
Yeah.
It had 50,000 likes on Instagram.
That's crazy.
Bananas.
Our Waz
So
is quite
basically,
the guy.
there was a tweet, if you haven't seen it, from like 2019 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
When Kane was not an Oiler. And he responded, this was when Logan Paul was fighting, he's trying to fight someone, I forget who.
It might have been Floyd Mayweather.
Oh yeah. And
Pitbull, recording star Pitbull.
Yeah.
Evander Kane commented or called out Jake Paul. I was like, I want to box you. Like, let's do it. And we reshared it. And then Kane commented on it.
He
And
did?
He commented on it like this weekend. And what'd he say?
Both of his eyes would be shut. Something like that.
That's the timeline I now want to live in is Jake Paul, Evander Kane, while Kane's on LTIR.
Yeah. Why not?
Sure.
Let's make it happen.
Netflix, Oilers Plus.
Oilers Plus.
But I just think for Jake Paul, I'd like to see him fight an actual boxer as opposed to some guy who's, God bless Mike Tyson. That's not Mike Tyson.
He's been masterful at picking his opponents. So
for sure, because he just wants to win.
If he steps out of line this time and does actually face somebody who's a legit boxer, I don't know, man. Because
I was watching before the fight, I was just on TikTok and I was I fell into boxing TikTok and all the experts, quote unquote, they were saying where Jake Paul's going to get himself in trouble against Mike Tyson is the boxing IQ part of it, specifically the footwork. And then they showed a bunch of highlights from when Tommy Fury just kind of would be stepping around him, tagging him 4 times before he even knew what was going on. So if he fought another heavyweight with that same boxing IQ, he's going down for sure.
The fact of the matter is we're all going to tune in until he gets knocked out.
Totally.
And that's when it's going to lose its luster and we're going to stop watching.
But everybody just wants to watch him get knocked out. That was part of the storyline is just everybody wanted to watch him get knocked out. I'll continue
to watch every Jake Paul fight at the hopes that he will get his comeuppance, so to speak.
You know what we need?
And I don't even dislike the guy. I think he's brilliant, to be honest.
The marketing is fantastic. His production company that got mentioned every 15 minutes during the fight, made a pile of dough.
The President and Elon drinking Prime.
Mm-hmm.
We need a sequel to It's Every Day, Bro. Remember that song?
No.
He put out a song called It's Every Day, Bro.
I don't think we need any more streamers and influencers making songs.
Well, Logan Paul has a song called It's Every Day, Bro, and it bangs, and that's not my fault, so don't get mad at me. And I'm saying we need an even better remix to It's Every Day, Bro. Potentially featuring Glorilla.
I do like Glorilla.
So by the night Saturday rolled around and we had the UFC fight, were you sported out?
Yeah.
I was too. I could not.
By the time the Oilers game ended, I was like, no more sports.
I was so mad about the Oilers finish. I was like, no.
It was pretty annoying.
Why? What was wrong?
Everything.
We got to win those games there for Connor, for our captain. Make a fucking save.
Okay, there is something else we haven't talked about from the Oilers game, but first we do have to step aside for a quick break. All right, back half of the podcast brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Hockey fans helping hockey fans, and you can take advantage of the Nation Valet service. If you're in the Edmonton area, your vehicle needs servicing. It doesn't need to be a Ford. You don't have to have purchased the vehicle at Sherwood Ford, the Giant. You can take advantage of the Nation Valet. Also, they can store your winter tires for you. Enough keeping your winter tires in your living room, which you've been doing for the last 10 years. Store them somewhere properly. Keep them stacked up in the kitchen.
I know. Could you imagine?
They're the base for your dining room table.
Well, then in that case,
That'd actually be kind of cool.
Ryan Reeves.
Why is this man putting on an NHL jersey when the game has changed so far from what he's good at?
Can I read you? So
Can
he's played.
somebody explain that to me?
He's played 16 games this season.
Yeah.
I'm going to read you his minutes from each game.
Oh, can't wait.
7, 7, 9, 8, 8, 9, 7, 5, 6, 6, 8, 8, 12 somehow, 9, 6, and then 3.
Can we start by wishing Darnell Nurse all the best?
Oh, man.
He was finally playing good hockey too. And it's
He
just
was
like,
playing
But just
really
as a
solid
human
hockey.
being,
but
like that was an insane
To see the replay,
shot.
and he was an owl. His head turned
Yeah,
all
man.
the way around.
Yeah.
And the other thing too about that hit was like Ryan Reeves could have blown him up shoulder to shoulder.
Yes, that is my number one thing from it. When you come around the net like that and you don't have your head up, you are susceptible to getting hit hard.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, we like to think that guys aren't leading with their shoulders and their elbows towards another
guys
man's
aren't going
head.
headhunting anymore.
They're not going
yeah.
head hunting anymore because there's been deterrence in the past for stuff like this.
Yeah. And like if it was shoulder on shoulder, clean hit, I would have been like, whoa, Darnell, keep your head up, man.
Totally.
But you're susceptible to a clean hit, not a dirty hit.
Yeah. And so you look at it and you go, okay, like I don't want to be just like I love the Oilers. I love Darnell. Ryan Reeves, you shouldn't even be in the NHL. This is fucking bullshit. He's a obviously very tall, big guy. And Darnell, when he's cutting
Nurse is
around the
taller.
net, he is hunched over because you are trying to gain speed, right? Did he mean to do it? It doesn't fucking matter. There's a lot of people like, oh, you didn't mean to do it. It was slow. It doesn't fucking matter. The dude spun around. I still don't know, when you guys can tell me, but I'm pretty sure all that blood was from him hitting his head on the ice, right?
Or his visor.
His visor hit him in the
Or
eyes.
his visor
I think
hit
his
him?
visor
Was he bleeding
cut
out of
him,
his eyes?
Well, he was out of his forehead
Oh,
and then running down his face. Yeah.
good God. It looked like it was bleeding out of his eyes.
I'm not the
And the
kind of
sound of it too.
I'm not the kind of person that wants hitting and fighting out of the NHL. I actually really miss that we don't get to see more fights.
If there
right?
was fighting, I don't think he would have done that.
I just think no one wants to fight Ryan Reeves.
That's fair. Only
like,
Darnell Nurse.
who's going to do it? Matt
like-
Rempe. That's about it.
But again, like he could have blown Nurse up with a clean hit there.
Totally.
It would have been fine.
Instead, he rose as he hit him right on the bell.
Mhm.
And now, now Nurse is out, according to Knobloch, 5 to 10 days.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, Reeves, if you want to not give him credit, but like he apparently went to the room and apologized to Darnell. He, after the hit, you could see him like looking at the Oilers bench being like, that's on me almost, right? Like he was tapping his chest. Like I'm sure he feels bad. And by all accounts, he's a nice guy. But like you said, he comes and plays 8 minutes a game.
That's just it.
does nothing good.
If I'm somebody on the Oilers, I'm looking at him being like, I really don't care that you're tapping your chest and saying, you shouldn't even fucking be here.
Well, that's why like people were like, why wouldn't anyone go fight him? I was like,
Why?
and like, why?
The
Like
Nuge? Who do you want to stand up to Ryan Reeves?
yeah.
Yeah, I was. I don't know.
This isn't the day of protecting Matthews and Marner from bullshit.
No, because it doesn't happen.
It's not happening that much anymore.
They like the storyline.
Whether or not
of
we
it.
like it or not, this is not, a time to sit here and be like, I don't like the new NHL. It's too soft. It just is what it is. And to have this guy, this fucking guy, who it seems like every year we got to watch this shit from him, something dumb that he goes and does. And and now it happens to one of our guys.
Well,
And somebody who's playing really well and somebody it just fucking sucks. It's just so annoying all the way around that it was him.
And again, yeah, on Darnell, like on a personal level, he just had that big game against Nashville, right? Is feeling himself for the first time in a while. And then it's like, man, to have to go through that now. It's
Maybe
brutal.
a silver lining in this hit is that the crowd sentiment against Nurse starts to shift. When I
Yeah.
see a guy like Bouchard, who's also in the hot seat, yeah, Nurse makes bad plays, but he always answers the bell,
hustles.
finishes hits, hustles. Like, if you're going to hate on somebody, hate on Evan Bouchard. Don't hate on Nurse, especially now.
I mean, I'd like to not hate on anybody.
Well, but
to
there's
be
two guys you
honest.
can hate
Like,
on.
I just
I
right
gotta hate
now,
on somebody, Chalmers.
I know. And right now, for me, it's got to be Skinner because I just need him to be better. I'm just so sick of this with him too. Like yeah, I don't want to hate on anybody. And I've never really hated on Darnell. Listen, he got what he got. You can hate it. He's going to make mistakes.
You'd sign it too.
The one thing, exactly. The one thing as a coach, you have 6 defensemen. They're all at some point in the season, at some point in every game, they're going to make a mistake. That's the gift and the curse of being a defenseman is you can be a hero when you stop something, but you will be a goat when you make a bad play. You're the defenseman.
Do you think 5 games was enough?
I don't.
To be honest with you, so I think 5 games is fine. But I also think that there's been some suspensions that maybe were longer than that for stuff that was less than that.
Didn't Tom Wilson get an extended one for a very similar questionable hit?
Yeah.
So that was brought up in our group chat. There was the one in the playoffs, which I was just a really good hit. Didn't he get 3 games in the playoffs for it 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll never pretend to know what is the proper amount of time for a hit like that. Lots of people like to argue, hey, he should sit out for as long as Darnell's out. And I don't know. I don't delve into that world. But when I hear 5, I go, yeah, that sounds right. If I would have heard 2, I'd have been like, that's fucking lame.
Is that really?
If I would have heard 10, I'd have probably been like, okay.
Wasn't Wilson's 40 games or some shit though? No.
I think there was one for 7.
Yeah.
And then there was
I think 5's pretty. I think 5's good. I wasn't.
Yeah, I kind of just get that.
I'm thinking
feeling.
Shane Pinto. That guy got in big trouble.
Yeah, you did. What did Wilson? What was Wilson?
I don't know. I just
Yeah, his longest was 7, and he got 3 playoff games once.
3 playoff games.
Oh no, he got 20 once, and it was reduced to 14 on appeal.
I thought he had a double digit.
Yeah, so that was an extended one.
Yeah, and that was also his 1, 2, 3, 4th predatory hit suspension.
Well, what is Ryan Reeves?
So this would have been Reeves' 2nd or 3rd. I don't remember what they said on the broadcast. I'm pretty sure it was 2nd.
So if you're looking at predatory hitters in the NHL right now, it's not a very long list, is it? It's Reeves, it's Jacob Trouba. Who else are we looking at?
Yeah, Trouba though, I think a lot of times lays a lot of clean
Kaylor
hits.
Yamamoto.
He lays a lot of clean hits, but
Trouba's hits are devastating. But
there's no denying the elbow that I saw a little while ago and the full Superman in the playoffs last year, right? There's just not that many guys out there like that doing that where Trouba can still play. So I he plays at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Reeves just doesn't. He just fucking doesn't. I'm sure that they could put another player in there and maybe, I don't know, the deterrent to not hurt the Stars. But also, it's not a thing anymore.
It's so funny when it's you need guys the traditionalists, if you want to use that word, it will be you need guys like Reeves so there's no dumb shit. And then it's just guys like Reeves doing all the dumb shit. And it's
that's a good point. Great point.
Just get rid of him.
That imaginary guy you just cited is correct.
Mm-hmm.
I hope
the traditionalist that you said. Anyways,
but you do have people who say that.
They're right.
About what? About what I said or about what they're saying?
I'm so confused.
Think about that.
Ryan Reeves still has 1 more year on his contract at $1.35 million for some reason.
A visual deterrent for people like himself.
Yeah.
Stupid.
There's just way more guys out there that can still do the job he is to perform, which is to stop the bullshit from happening while still producing a little bit on the ice, right?
Giving you at least reasonable minutes.
Vinny Desharnais.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least he could play defense and kill penalties.
Guys like Klim, Pod Colson could become one if he ever wanted to fight again. I'd like to see him in a second one. Hope he didn't just get lucky in the first one.
Klim Kostin, I don't think he's played in a month in San Jose.
I know. What's that about? I thought he was.
Is that one of those ones where we just love guys more than everyone else does?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Mountains out of molehills?
Yeah. He's played once in November.
And it's not like San Jose is lighting the world on fire.
No.
No, they're not.
Last game out, he played 8 minutes.
Oh, dear.
Game before that was 5. So if he can't play for the Sharks, probably can't play for anywhere.
He seemed more skilled than that to me.
It was
He's just not into it. I guarantee you, Klim Kostin's we never win. And then he doesn't try. And then he'll find his way to the K.
He must be partying a lot. I bet
In Man Jose?
Yeah. He seems like one of those guys.
Well, even just to your point about
fun it sounds like.
Maybe it's not fun playing on a terrible team. I've never seen an active player on another team put on their old team's jersey before.
That's rare.
Never seen that before.
Yeah. I think that maybe tells you something.
You know what I mean?
Are you proud to be a Shark, Klim? Well, I was buying tickets to Oilers playoff games,
and wearing my own jersey.
Wearing my own jersey.
Because I missed that.
Because I miss him.
Yeah. Okay. I want to do a little bit of betting talk before we wrap up the show. Shout out to our friends at Bet365, largest sports betting platform globally. Sign up today. Use the promo code NATION, NATION, to get in on a huge range of markets. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Do you want to know what I did on the Tyson Paul fight?
I'd love to know.
So the odds were juiced for Tyson to either knock out or win. So I put a sprinkle on both of those and I just hedged Jake Paul just winning outright. Came out even.
Oh, that's not bad.
It wasn't a bad one.
Was watching it on some guy's iPhone who said he listens to the show. So shout out to that guy. Was watching it on his iPhone at the bowling alley. And I watched Tyson walk out. Because you guys got in my head a little bit last episode. I was like, okay, like maybe I'm just being like an ignorant young person. Like Mike Tyson won't be able to fight. So I didn't bet on it. And then I saw Tyson walking out kind of the way you described. And I was like, Paul by decision. And I went and locked that bet in right there.
See, so you say that you were being an ignorant young person. I don't think so. I think we were being nostalgic old people.
But one of us was going to be right or wrong and like our whatever.
A guy at the alley listens to this show?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
How'd you bowl?
Pressure. Yeah.
Pardon?
How'd you bowl? 5 or 10 pin also.
10 pin.
I'd love to know how that guy thought you bowled.
Yeah, fair. I like usually I only go bowling in like the bowling alley in St. Albert. It's a fun little party spot. You can get kokanee gold on draft. Tell me where else you can get kokanee gold on draft.
That old strip club in the Saxony Hotel.
1998.
in 1997.
So when me and my buddies first turned 18 and we go to the bowling alley and like drink on a Friday night, they'd have kokanee gold. And we were always like, surely they bought like 10 kegs of it and they're just trying to now get rid of it. No, it's like 10 years later now. They're still buying kokanee gold.
Wasn't 25 cent draft at Cowboys either kokanee or kokanee gold?
Well, it was kind of like old underwear pressed out through a beer, but yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, where was I going with that?
I asked how you
25
bowled.
cent draft did not contain beer. That's why I wasn't.
That St. Albert bowling alley is a little bit of a party place.
and it's 5 pin, which is great because I feel like you can just really let her go.
You can have a lot more fun with those.
Yeah. 10 pin. I woke up the next day and I was just like, oh my God, my body is so stiff. My shoulders hurt.
Me and Mrs. went 10 pin bowling last weekend. I am so bad at 10 pin bowling. It's
hard.
Embarrassing.
Were you in the doghouse? Why are you trying to work yourself back into her good books?
Yeah, I got to get the point system back. I got to accrue.
You got Denver and Toronto in the next
Denver
month,
and Toronto coming up, so I got to accrue some points.
Yeah.
Anyways, betting talk for our friends at Bet365. Let's get into that a little bit here. Thursday or Monday Night Football and an Oilers game at the same time. So Chalmers, I want you to give me your best bet for Texans Cowboys and we'll parlay it with something from the Oilers game.
My best bet for Texans Cowboys is, I mean, this is going to be a runaway by the Texans.
I think they're going to smoke them.
It's going to be because like a lot of Dallas players are hurt right now. I am looking at my player props and I'm going to say anytime touchdown receiving, Tank Dell.
Ooh, like a long bomb, maybe.
It'll be a long bomb. Yeah. He loved a long bomb.
So why don't we do Tank Dell anytime with Oilers puck line plus 436 on Bet365. Get a little 2-screen, 2-TV action going for the game tonight. Oilers start at 5:30 on Amazon Prime.
What do you like better? An anytime touchdown for Tank Dell? Obviously, you're going to like the Joe Mixon, but it's going to have worse odds.
Yeah.
Like worse paying odds.
Yeah. So Mixon in the puck line is plus 200.
Okay.
I don't hate that either.
So on Texans, would you go spread or just, well, money line's no fun.
Yeah. Money lines. Oh, you want to like make it a little bit juicier.
What is the spread right now on
7?
7. Yeah. It was 7 earlier. It's going to be spread. I mean, they're like, this is going to be a beatdown because Houston, the Battle of Texas, you don't take it off, right? Like if you're beating up on Dallas, who has Cooper Rush and a CeeDee Lamb who's questionable with a back injury, you've really got Rico Dowdle and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
And so Texans are not going to take it easy on them, and they want their division. So
Tank Dell and the Texans on the spread.
Yep.
With the puck line and Hyman 13-1. Boom.
Hyman anytime goal?
Hyman's due. Yeah.
I really like that bet. What is it without Hyman? 6-1?
7.
I like that a lot better than 13. That 13 is like hoping for magic.
Yeah.
But they have 11 forwards. They got to play. And also it's Montreal.
Yeah, but like trap.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a trap.
Yeah.
Worst defensive team at 5-on-5. That is a trap.
Yeah, this reeks like a Montembeau 48 save performance.
100%.
Oilers lose 3-1.
Oh no.
Can you have a
100%.
trap game in the first of a back-to-back though?
You're looking past it.
Oh yeah, the look ahead game.
Yeah, the look
the
ahead.
dreaded look ahead game.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Montalban net for sure?
Yeah, I believe so.
Goo.
Daily Faceoff has.
He's
him
due for one good
confirmed.
game every 4 years, Tyler.
Pardon?
He's good for one good game every 4
Montembeau?
years.
He might start for Canada at the Four Nations.
Oh, dear.
The options right now are Montembeau, Talbot, Fleury, and Binnington. So
Where are the goalie coaches of the last generation?
Dustin Schwartz has been working with all of them.
Oh, no. Here's who should be
That's
the
not
options,
right. You're
Charles. Brodeur.
Yep.
Patrick
Fleury.
Waugh?
Yeah, no.
When did Canada stop making good goalies?
About 10 years ago.
Gary Price.
Yeah, Carey Price.
When Carey Price blew out his knee, that was the end for the country.
Put a curse on everyone.
Yep.
Last thing I had on my list, shout out to our friends at Bet365, back to regularly scheduled programming. BM, you think you can go how many days eating only Costco hot dogs?
Yeah, I had an idea for a bit.
Great.
How many days could I go where the only thing I'm allowed to consume for food is Costco hot
Do you have
dogs?
to haul ass to Costco to eat it?
Well, so no. So I've asked this question because my first thought was like, oh, I
Just
guess
buy like the 12 or 24 pack and make them yourself
that's the ticket
with bun.
with bun.
Can you change the way you eat them? Like,
What do you mean?
Breakfast
I
dog?
mean, you can't throw them in like mac and cheese.
No,
It's just you.
just dog
Dressing. Can you do
What,
one
with
where like
a bun?
where
with
like
bun.
can you do
Salsa?
one where you like melt cheese on top of it and put some barbecue sauce on it?
I feel like that'd be acceptable.
Okay.
You could change a lot of hot dog dishes up for a month.
But like you can't, I can't like put like chili on it, then make it a completely different
Why? It's
meal.
a chili dog.
So you
No,
can't
but you
add-
But
can't-
like the sanctity of the Costco dog.
I think the
has to be
dog
intact.
has to be like the main staple of the meal.
Yes, that's
where if you
correct.
put it in mac and cheese, it kind of becomes the secondary piece.
But a chili dog you could get at a hot dog restaurant.
So you can't put another carb on there. is
Right.
But like
the way to put
if what you have available at the Costco concession, that's all that can go on the dog. So you're thinking like your standards, mustard, ketchup, relish, maybe some
Onions.
sauerkraut if you want, some onions.
cheese.
That's it.
maybe cheese. Yeah.
I'm thinking I went to Costco yesterday. I had one. I don't think I could go more than 3 days.
I was
'cause
just going to say 3 days. I think by the middle of day 2, you'd start to be like, I really don't want to. And then you could stomach the dinner one. And then the morning of day 3, when you woke up and you had to eat a hot dog and then you had to eat another one for lunch. I
Oilers
think,
game's over tonight and I'm a little peckish. All I want is like some pistachios or something and
Yeah.
I just can have a hot dog.
Where do you draw the line? So like that's the only food you can eat.
Mhm.
Do smoothies count?
Can't do
who's going to
smoothie.
make a smoothie with a hot dog?
I just mean like for breakfast.
Nope,
if you could
can't do
avoid
smoothies.
the breakfast, then I think you could make it further by if you're like my breakfast is a smoothie.
But like, okay, like a strawberry banana smoothie?
Yeah,
What? Then that's not eating hot dogs.
Yep. That's,
What are we doing
that
here?
Violates
but
the
that's
rules.
drinking something.
No, the drinks I'm
now
allowed
we're
to
just
have,
getting so you could drink
coffee, water, and like juice kind of thing. That's it.
What about thick juice?
Like smoothie thing?
That's what I'm talking about.
Nope.
Could you
Violates
have
the
You know
rules.
what? I
strawberry,
don't-
strawberry banana
It's
juice?
a fair question for
Yes.
me to ask though.
Could there be pulp in the orange?
Yes.
At what
No.
point does it become a smoothie?
If it's
That's what I'm
the
saying.
viscosity, you got to think about the viscosity.
Nope. Go
ahead.
The only thing I'm thinking you're allowed to drink is coffee, water, and soft drink.
That's
Like
fine.
A Coke, a Diet Coke, a Sprite,
Red
Yeah,
Bull.
a soft drink.
What about a
soft drink.
beer? Can I have a beer?
just not juice. Can you have a beer?
Yeah.
Through hot dog straw.
Yeah. Would you drink hot dog straw beer?
I mean, I'm going to have plenty of hot dogs.
Well,
Got to French them up somehow. I'm
Yeah.
saying 3 days max with stretch goal of 7.
yeah, I feel like 3 is lazy. Like there's no Tesla on the line if you do it or something. If there's a
No,
decent
it's just
prize,
when I get bored and
Yeah.
I just like, I need to eat something else.
Here's the problem. You eat one hot dog for breakfast, one hot dog for dinner, one hot dog for lunch.
Mhm.
Sorry, I went out of order.
no lupper.
No leper. So that's 3 hot dogs all day.
Mm-hmm.
That simply does not seem like enough food for a grown man to live
Well,
off
you can
of.
have as many hot dogs as you want.
That's,
2 for
that, but
leopard?
that's where the problem's going to come in is when you're like second day, you're super hungry and it's lunchtime. You're like, I got to eat 2 of these things now just because I'm
They're big hot
starving
dogs.
and I've got no energy.
The funny thing is the reaction. So I was talking about this on Better Late Than Never on Wednesday. It's just like a potential bit I want to do. And there's a guy who's like a nutritionist or something that follows me on Instagram. And he goes, please, for the love of God, do not do this. The sodium in one hot dog plus bun is twice the daily recommendation.
That tells me we got to get those limits up.
So I got to go, all right, I'll just mix in an extra water. He goes, nope, this does not work that way.
Can pop just like
What about the guy
Get
from
rid of the
Nathan's
sodium?
Hot Dogs? How can he eat 50 hot dogs in a single?
Well, he's a trained athlete, of course. I'm not. I'm just but an
Does he
amateur.
ralph
Does he
them
barf
up
them all up?
afterwards?
Does he?
Nope.
No, he doesn't.
Does he not eat again for like 3 days?
He's done interviews about
He's done
this, but
interviews
yeah,
where he
you-
said the next day is not an enjoyable one.
I imagine he looks like Randy Marsh in the South Park episode. Hot, 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 hot.
Yeah, how many Keurigs in is it? How many Keurigs?
YouTube segment. YouTube this Randy Marsh biggest poop ever.
Mhm.
And
Great
he-
episode.
He basically is like the
Spinning.
star on a Christmas tree at
Yeah.
the end. Hot, 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 hot.
So, my thought is 3 days max, with the stretch of
Yeah, so
7.
You'd be
I love
God in
food
my
too
eyes
much.
if you made it 3 days.
I love food too much to only eat hot dogs.
That's fair.
I'd love to know. People think they can go. Like I've seen people. I could go a month. There's no.
No, get out of here.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
If you had to eat one kind of food for a prolonged period of time,
Tacos.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tacos for sure.
Don't you remember Morgan Spurlock doing the Super Size Me McDonald's, and like he got to eat different things on the menu every day, and by like day 26th or day 20th, he wanted to kill himself.
He also
basically.
died super young. So what's the point?
Also pizza. I think you could do enough iterations of pizza where
Yeah,
like
a lot of
I could
varieties
eat
on
that.
pizza.
Pizza would be mine for
But like
sure.
that's the thing about the hot dog one is it's just straight dog with normal
yeah,
condiments.
like pizza. If you were just like, okay, how many days in a row can you eat only pizza? You mix up where you're getting it from. You get different kinds. Like you could go a month eating only pizza.
I think
Lil
like
Yachty went a lifetime on only pizza.
most people think pizza is just gonna like fill you up, and it's just so thick and rich with just cheese and all this stuff. But like if you get a really good wood fired like Napoleon style pizza or Neapolitan style pizza, sorry, Napoleon. Those
It's
are
just smaller.
thin crust,
Little hat.
minimal sauce, small bit of meat, small bit of like cheese.
It's not that unhealthy.
It's not unhealthy at all.
What Lil
lovely, in
Yachty
fact.
say? Never anything but chicken fingers and pizza his whole life.
Yeah.
God.
Respect.
He wrote
He never
Poland.
had a nice little steak at a steakhouse.
I think he grew up poor.
Yeah. He grew up with his mom,
Well,
had to
he
work
poured
like
anymore.
3 or 4 jobs or something like that. And all they had was pizza and tendies.
Fair.
Tendy pizza?
Why not? Innovative.
All right. Well, good episode, guys. Jay should be back on Thursday when we'll get to bug him about the bet me and him made. Also,
He tried to welch on that bet already.
he definitely did. I know. So I was really hoping he'd be here today. Also, here's your teaser for Thursday when Jay's back. I had a dream about Jay the other day.
Ooh,
What was it
sexy.
about? Was it sexy? Wait till Thursday's episode to find out.
Ooh, I'll be here.
Have a good week, everybody. Bye-bye. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.